turns out it's possible to format 1.44 megabyte disk for over 2 million usable bytes using regular disk drive, disk and controller. I made a Turbo Pascal program to do this, and I will now demonstrate this. You can see the geometry it uses there. This is accomplished by directly controlling the floppy disk controller on PC. Right, now the sector information should be there. Let's verify this image drive B. Alignment test. There it is. Changing headworks, changing track works. Go to 80, track 80, even track 81, 82 and 83, and that's the final usable track. Alright, then let's write some data there. I will demonstrate what I have here. So this is a raw image file, which for every 4 kilobytes you have the cylinder heads and sector in the number there, and then there is this open smiley face to indicate beginning of the sector, and then there's this closed smiley face to indicate ending of the sector, and this goes all the way to whatever megabytes. And we should be able to write this there in this other Turbo Pascal program I made, which basically follows the same idea as the format program. Now we'll have to wait for it to write some odd megabytes there. And there we go. Let's try to make an image using ImageDisk. Let's see, ImageDisk in the file. ImageDisk. Image, comment, read. It sees the 3 sectors. And this is reading it. see what we got. And there is to convert this to now it should be converted to binary. And there you can see the sectors all the way to the end. Exactly as expected. Now let's do one more thing. Let's try to write the thing back to the disk. Write file to disk, the old one there is. Enter disk to write, enter the proceed. Gives write error, it doesn't seem to be able to do it. Which is sort of strange because I managed to write it, and it managed to read it, but now this program doesn't manage to write it. Or is it such that it is actually managing to write it, it just gives errors that I'm not entirely sure. Maybe. Okay, let's say it has written first 5 sectors or something. Let's try to read them. So let's take no, it doesn't see all the sectors, so I guess it failed. Yep, it doesn't work. It's odd, but indeed, as you saw, it is possible to write 2,064,384 bytes on a regular disk. I will share the source code, but that's mostly it for today. One thing I forgot to mention is that I imaged the flux of this disk image using Grease Visual, and this is basically how it looks like. You can see the 3 sectors there packed pretty tight. So if you compare it to, for example, regular DOS disk, which has 18 sectors, it has quite a lot of this sort of empty area here that we're using with this disk format now quite efficiently. I have a feeling it might even be breaking some standards because it's packed so tight, but apparently extracting the disk image still worked out and there were no errors, so interesting that it works. But yeah, the difference is quite dramatic between a standard disk and this disk. Yeah, obviously this is of no practical value these days anymore since nobody's using floppies, but it's interesting what you can still do with fiddling with the hardware. And it would have been useful back in the old days to store quite a bit more data than the standard. I guess this might be the world record number or something. That's it. Thanks, bye.